ball comes out, and we're going to get things underway. Kim Ravallion, the captain this season of the Firebirds, will get us underway. Saturday night netball in prime time on Fox Netball. We've had a win to the Vixens, and now the battle of the Bruce. Dunkley so key in the good passages of play for the Firebirds last week. She goes over the top to Wallam, who'll get her first shot. And a nice settler too.
Well, Dunkley was dangerous for the Firebirds last week, just going direct to Wallam.
Batcheldor comes out, provides the option. Good defence here from the Firebirds though, making it difficult. Few lateral. Batcheldor again.
Well, for me, the two key matchups in this game actually happens in the mid-court, and that's Cassidy against Ravallion and Simpson v Sherian. So keep your eye on those combinations and how they play out.
Well, we named them as a matchup in the pre, and it was Wallam and Batcheldor, and they're the first two and now probably three to put one in. Completely different players, but probably will end up being equally effective over the coming years of Super Netball, and that's what this COVID situation is going to do, is really unearth and give time, court time, to stars of the future.
Well, we just saw Sophie Fawns for the Swifts, didn't we, come on and absolutely dominate, shooting long bombs from everywhere in the circle. It's what dreams are made of for these young players. We see a miss there from Conan.
Only had one miss last week, Clara Conan, and she's had her one miss this week already. Buetta, Dunkley. We heard her be told halfway through last week's game, Megan Anderson said, turn and look and let it go. And you can already see Lara Dunkley is doing exactly that. She's looking directly at Donnell Wallen the minute she gets her hands on the pill. And there we go again, too long this time though.
A little win there from Dehaney, just over the baseline. That's how she needs to play, but just the options coming forward for the Lightning. It will be interesting to see this long court transition for them and how they deliver this ball down to the attack end.
Two apiece. And 2 minutes gone again, Buetta.
And this is early warning signs for the Lightning. They need to be strong and definite in their moves down court and not suck up these attackers too high. You can see there, though, Firebirds' defensive pressure outstanding.
Just Gretel Buetta just making herself known all the way across both thirds of the court. Just putting doubt in the minds, and Simpson as well.
Well, at the moment, there's no easy pass for the Lightning. Everywhere where they look, every time they turn and deliver, somebody is wearing a Firebirds player like a backpack.
Doesn't Gabby Simpson always look like she's just missed out no matter what? And any great defender would. Batcheldor, Cassidy looks and finds Conan on the baseline. Good movement, she didn't have much space to play with, and she gets a settler. 3-2 in the opening exchanges. Plenty of pace in this one though, and plenty of great defence, especially from the Firebirds. Cassidy, Conan as the front.
Well, there you have it. There's Ebony Azuro-Brown just making her presence felt.
She needs to as well. She had a quiet game first up. Obviously, she's come out. She only arrived in the country in January. She's obviously got one eye on the Commonwealth Games. She's an English Rose, 33 years of age, wants to play another Com Games. Is also another new mum. There's a few of them in the Firebirds camp, actually.
Well, there's a great little crate happening there at the Firebirds, isn't there?
That agility from Buetta. Must be so reassuring for Donnell Wallen to look up and know she's got Gretel Buetta alongside her.
Here we see Ruby Bakewell-Doran already getting her hands in the mix there. Cara Conan, though, quick to clean up the crumbs. You can just see here the Lightning are just fiddling around with the ball a little bit. There's, Gabby Simpson!
Bound to happen.
Comes up with the win.
Yeah, they've been threatening. They flow down court well, the Firebirds. They had a great first half, and Dehaney gets her hands on one. Plenty of heat in this contest early, and you expect that between the two teams that share Queensland.
This is where the Lightning just have to be really careful. Firebirds, you can see their intent is to turn and look directly at Wallam, as you mentioned earlier, Will. So you can see in this defensive end, there's not a whole lot of talk happening down here. They need to start communicating with one another. Who's going where, who's got what. Wallam just left at home by herself under the post. Another easy one for the Firebirds.
And that's communication, isn't it, in the end? Just a split-second decision. Both of them went away, and Wallam home alone, and Bakewell Doran, she gets a fingertip to one, and she made a real difference when she came on late in that game last week, and that's why she gets the start.
I love her athleticism, and I love her positioning on the body. She gets that nice front position and just makes life so difficult for her attacker.
Nothing between these two sides.
And beautiful hold there from Wallam. Just had Dehaney on her back. Knew exactly where the space was. That beautiful feed into Wallam.
Bakewell Doran lets it slip through her fingers, and Batcheldor through Sherry and hands to Conan. Great agility from Cara Conan to keep it in, and the stand-in captain gets the ball back.
That was impressive work there from Conan, and that's what it's going to need to take. Well done, Riley Batcheldor, finishing that. See here, Conan just balancing, amazing balance to get that ball back in court. Good backup from her Lightning players. Oh, Tara Hinchliff for the win. At transition down court too for the Lightning, nice and quick. What we're used to seeing from them.
They needed to have a strong start, the Sunshine Coast Lightning. They've done that. They're one up with possession. Halfway through this opening quarter. Conan quickly onto Sherry and through Cassidy. Lovely weighted ball, and Batcheldor in good position, and they're up by 2. Buetta so effective for the Firebirds, already notched up 18 and a half missing net points, and here she is again.
Well, you just can't leave her unattended, Will. She's so dangerous. She loves having ball in hand and being involved in basically every second pass out on court. When she's got the ball in her hand, she feels comfortable. Just cannot leave her alone for a second.
It's like a toddler. Way too excitable and can't leave them alone for a second. Can't take your eyes off them. Shot there from Batcheldor, and she is looking very settled in her second game in this season.
That's what we spoke about, isn't it? Pre-game as the Firebirds just need to go back there and reset. Nothing coming forward for them at the moment.
I feel like the Lightning's defence has settled a little in this clash, making it a little more difficult, but, well, Buetta, well, she can't be stopped. Let's head down now to Sharon Finnan-White. Sharon, how are you seeing the first 8 or so minutes of this one? The Lightning are right in it.
Oh, so frantic, isn't it? Well, look, I was just having a look at the Lightning defenders, and for once we're actually seeing Donnell Wallam not getting everything easy and her own way. The defenders are really adjusting their body angle, so Wallam can't set up for that easy drop to the post, so they're actually doing a really good job on her.
Thanks, Sharon. So good to have someone of the calibre of Sharon Finnan-White giving us that insight.
I think what the Lightning defenders are doing well, just to follow on from Sharon's comment there, is they're mixing it up between that one-on-one pressure, Tara staying out on Gretel, and then also, as we just, Tara just spoiling that one over the baseline, and another little win here for the Firebirds. They're mixing up that defensive positioning on Wallam into that one-on-one and that two-on-one. So just keeping these Firebirds attackers guessing.
Dunkley turns, looks. Wallam comes out. 10-9. It is a frantic quarter. Great jump, great timing from Dehaney.
That is so hard to do. Dehaney, you get the sense that she's working herself nicely into this game. What that does for Gretel Buetta, having a defender up and over and reject the shot. Oh, little replay there. The umpire didn't see it. Sherry unlucky to get away with that one.
She got rid of it as quickly as possible. The Harvey Norman replay there. It is Dehaney. Obviously, she had Well, she had Boetta in both mirrors when early on, so that's a real confidence booster.
Absolutely, the timing and skill that takes. So she's going to have another crack at it too. Dehaney just really working herself nicely into this game.
Approaching the power
Bakewell-Doran.
5, and Bakewell-Doran comes out. There's been tips on both sides.
Bakewell-Doran loves the first ball contest. Her speed and her closing speed, so to speak, is impressive to watch.
Conan restores the 2-goal gap. We're headed to super shot territory. Dunkley looks, delivers.
Firebirds just happy to play the ball around. Beautiful pass in there from Dunkley, just off the circle edge, but saw the opening into Wallam. Ruby Bakewell-Doran sitting on 17 Nissan net points with 4 deflections to her name already, so she's well and truly making her impact felt here.
It leads all comers when it comes to the Firebirds. Ruby Bakewell-Doran. Nice feed into Conan, but she misses from the same spot that she missed from at the start of this encounter. Little wry smile there. Soro Brown actually off camera there, knocked Conan over.
Well, the shooting load between these Lightning attackers has been shared 50-50 at the moment. We see Conan just sink another one. Riley Batcheldor sitting 7 from 8. Tara Conan 5 from 7.
There was a Soro Brown on the Harvey Norman replay, just introducing Conan to the post as Wallam puts her foot on the line. And the Lightning now have a chance to go 3 clear with 3 minutes to go in this opening quarter.
Oh, Wallam!
Wow, Danelle Wallam with the agility.
Absolutely amazing and
Try again, mate. From super shot range, Wallam nails it. What a play from Danelle Wallam, gets it back.
I'm still trying
We're going to see the replay. Just take a breath there, Laura. There it is. She keeps it in play, finishes it with a super shot. Welcome to Super Netball, Danelle Wallam. Loving the physicality in this clash. Loving the battle between the Sunshine Curl, Katie and Dehaney, and the Diamond in Gretel Boetta. With the Commonwealth Games coming up, lovely feed into Wallam, fingertip control. She picks up goal number 10 from 10.
Well, at the moment, the Lightning, Steph Wood, their captain, out, but this attacking end is just working really lovely. Some really nice movement in there. They're mixing it up as we see there. The ball just goes into Conan on the hold, keeping these Firebirds defenders guessing as to what's happening out there.
Nothing between them, a minute to go. Boetta, and this time it's Cassidy.
Cassidy pleading, saying, go to the video ref, please.
Wallam from super shot range. Dehaney times it, but it won't stop Wallam from picking up her first super shot. Just it changes the complexion of the game, being able to shoot from range in the last 5 minutes. Another Suncorp super shot down. The super shot. I keep doing it. Last week it was Squeen. This week it's super shot.
Well, I'm still trying to get Gretel Boetta out of my...
Dear, oh dear. Don't worry, we only have to hold on for another 20 seconds. The Firebirds up by 2. Cassidy on circle edge. Finds Conan, ball by herself. And they'll go within 1. 10 seconds to go now. Can the Firebirds finish this off? They'll have to be quick. Back and forth with Boetta. Time might beat them, will it? Boetta, super shot. Drains it. No good.
Oh, that was unlucky. Just an amazing first 15 from the Lightning. We expect this match always to be a physical one, and that first 15 minutes suggested that's exactly what we're going to be in for the rest of this match. But Lightning doing a phenomenal job so far in this game.
Bakewell-Doran contesting straight off the centre pass. She is up and about after last week, as is Riley Batcheldor.
Oh, Ebony Azuro-Brown had front position there, but Conan just too strong over the top. Ebony Azuro-Brown should have pulled that one in nice and strong.
High arc on that ball, and it falls short. We'll go down to Sharon Finnan-Wyatt, who was nosing away around the Firebirds huddle. Sharon, what did you pick up?
They obviously need to
haven't quite got Sharon at the moment. We'll bring it to you a little bit later on. Yeah, good agility, though, from Janelle Wallam. She can really put the pace on when she wants to. Revalian, Dunkley and high to Wallam under, and again, the call against Katie Ann Dehaney, but the Jamaican is in the contest.
She is, Will. She's just plugging away at it. She'll come up with the small wins eventually. She's just got to stick to the game plan, keep moving her feet around the body of Wallam.
She's got such wingspan. Here Kyra comes again. She did it last week. Wallam off the two-step. She's been hanging out with Gretel too much, or not enough, some would argue. Sherian, Conan out, providing the option.
Well, Kylie Burns spent a little bit of time with Laura Sherian in that quarter break and just said, you need to lift your work rate. Oh, beautiful work there from Bakewell Doran. Just deflecting the ball, and Azuro Brown picking up the crumbs. Good to see there, though, Tara Hinchliffe. Bit of aerial ping-pong backwards and forwards here.
Loving this clash. Absolutely loving it, considering the lead in, especially for the Lightning. I'm loving what Ruby Bakewell-Doran, she seems like she's been doing this for a long time. I mean, she's an elevated training partner. She grew in confidence. She grew in confidence throughout the time she was on court last week, and she's just picked it up from there. 2 goals in it at the moment. The Firebirds look good with possession and in Danelle Wallam's hands. And off the whistle, she picks up.
Well, Danelle Wallam,
another one.
Yeah, 12 from 12, Will, 100%. So she's picking up from where she left off last week.
Cassidy, circle edge. Conan, nice and high.
Conan's movement is just so beautiful to watch. She's out of the circle. She's quite elusive in the way that she just works that defender out, and then all of a sudden she finds that baseline so nicely.
190 centimetres too, which is handy.
There you can see the Lightning just mixing it up. Hinchliffe dropped back onto Wallam in that 2-on-1 situation and left Bueta by herself.
3 goals. Hinchliffe high across to the centre. Cassidy in the pocket. The pocket rocket, Sherian, too high again on the way back.
Yeah, just cooked that one a little bit too much. Cassidy just puts her arms out and says, breathe, take a moment.
Firebirds aren't taking any moments though. They're straight down to circle edge and high, and it's a contested ball, and Wallam comes down with it, picks up lucky number 13. And we come with our first HCF timeout of this match so far. Time to take a breath with 3.5 gone. And plenty to talk about for both teams. The Firebirds did well there. They've eked themselves out a little 4-goal buffer, but no way are the Lightning going to go away in this one.
And that's exactly why this timeout has been called. Kylie Byrne just wants to reset.
Pass placement on this feed. Let's get there first. It's got to be to the spot away, the furthest away from the defender. So if the defender's going to have a crack, they've got to come through the body. Let's make sure that so whoever's out comes in and plays the front half of the circle. But if you're that back person, give them space in and go and find the back defender as well. If it's not there, let's have some swings around the outside of the circle till something frees up. Okay? Good girl. Keep contesting the catch, but you want to be busy. Remember, if you're caught on the back, we come off and we come around. But at all times, we're contesting the catch. You've got some 2 great ones there, Guy. Let's get them. Let's go. Come out of this firing. Let's go, girls. Let's go, girls.
Let's go, girls. Let's take a breath and come out of this nice and hard. Let's go.
Lightning on 2. 1, 2.
Lightning! Let's go.
Some words of encouragement there from Kylie Byrne to Katie Ann Dehaney at the back end of that one. And, of course, she was behind one of the great defensive pairings in Weston and Mannix at the Vixens for so long, and getting that court time and, you know, getting that encouragement as well from Kylie Byrne. We'll probably see her get better and better across the course of the season.
I'm actually really excited to see what Katie Ann Dehaney can bring down in that goalkeeper position. She well and truly deserves a position out on court. She's so long, her arm reach is intimidating. She just needs to, as you could hear Kylie Byrne saying to her, keep your feet working around the body, because she is quite intimidating in terms of where she is, and she's quick foot speed to get around. Oh,
Bounce pass, doesn't stick. Bakewell Doran cleans it up. Hands it off to the captain, Ravalian.
Yeah, good little win there from Ebony Azuro-Brown. Just got her hands in there, disrupted the play. So a little win for her.
Lovely little feed in there. Didn't obviously end up with the goal. It will now, but Dunkley just held it up for a split second, which got the timing right. Just a small thing. Dunkley leading all comers when it comes to this and net points. 9 assists, 6 centre pass receives, 14 feeds. And suddenly it's 6 goals and possession for the Firebirds. Off one step, wider than she's used to, and leaves it short. Gets another crack off the one-stepper right in front of Gretel, and a big smile.
Oh, dangerous little period here for the Lightning.
7 goals, biggest margin of this match. And this crucial possession.
Lightning just swinging the ball around the circle edge, just waiting for something to open up. Finally, they find Conan under the post.
Good patience there from the Lightning. There's a fine line between patience and just allowing the defensive team too many opportunities.
And that's what Lightning are so good at, playing the ball around. At times, they could probably be a little bit more direct, but see there, the contact penalty, 16 to the Lightning, 9 to the Queensland Firebirds. We spoke a little bit last week in round 1. Queensland Firebirds heavily penalised, so they've cleaned up this game so far a little more.
9-4, the quarter score in favour of the Firebirds. And with that comes a 7-goal buffer. Conan finds Bacheldor. Riley Bacheldor, 9 from 12 now. Looks comfortable. Ravalian to her vice-captain in Dunkley. They'll know the Firebirds. They had a bit of a shocker in the third quarter last week, and it'll be nice if they can go into half-time for them with a little bit of a buffer to play with and plenty of confidence.
Both of these sides had terrible third quarters. Saw for the Firebirds a few changes made at half-time. Just seemed to really unsettle them. Both of these teams then finished quite strongly, so interesting to see how that plays out.
Bakewell Doran. They switch play.
You can see this defensive end for the Lightning. In the first quarter, they were contesting everything, coming out into the pockets, having a go at all the balls that were floating around. But in this second quarter, they've just slipped back into that reactive mode. They need to get up and about and start winning the ball for their attackers. Oh, Dunkley. How did she come up with that?
They always look so innocent. The Firebirds can't convert, though.
A little bit of karma might have just played out down in that.
Speaking of karma, the ball beats everybody out of court.
Offside wing on the edge. It's inside
Maybe
the
a few
circle.
bumps and bruises after this one. Plenty of contact all the way down the court.
Yes.
Nice little double play there from Riley Bacheldor. Sets herself up. She's got such a beautiful shooting technique.
$13 shots each for Bacheldor and Conan, Bakewell Doran, and it comes down for Azuro-Brown.
Well, Bakewell Doran is
everywhere.
Absolutely outstanding.
Here she is again, handing off in the middle third to her wing attack. Switches play to the pocket, Dunkley, and back in, and Dehaney. Again, from the back position, doesn't come up with it.
And they're the little 1%ers, the Lightning. We can see there, Bakewell Doran, sorry, we're down the other end. Just getting her hands in the mix there, creating some real havoc.
Wallam immediately looking for the step forward. Didn't take it in the end, but she's definitely feeling good about where she's at.
Isn't she ever? The volume of shots that she can put up. Heard Kath Cox earlier this week saying her figures after round 1 were that of what we're used to seeing Romelda Aitken shoot.
I did hear that too, on centre circle. And, well, you can't get much better than that when Romelda George has been there for what would have been 15 seasons. There's your match leaders for the Nissan net points, and it's all happening in the centre of the court. Revalian, Dunkley, and then Ruby Bakewell-Doran, who is just having, you know, the game of her life at the moment. And that time it's Asuro Brown who gets a hand on, and she gets the benefit too.
Well, the Firebirds defence are just monstering this attack end of the Lightning. They're getting hands to absolutely everything, and then the poor old defenders of the Lightning down here, they've just got no hope. The ball is coming down so fast. The wheels really starting to fall off in this second quarter for the Lightning.
It's getting quiet in here in USC Stadium. No one wants to lose to, I guess, the big sister team, and up it goes. And again, the clash between Dehaney and Wallam. Crowd don't like it. And there goes the hooter for the Power 5. Here is the Harvey Norman replay. And with 5 minutes or just under on the clock, another HCF tactical timeout. And we're at an 8-goal gap. And the Lightning, well, they need to find some momentum going into this halftime break, or things could get away from them very quickly.
Sherian just looked to the umpire then and said, time out. We need to just reset.
So even if you back away to draw them and then pop forward, yeah. You know, if they're both back, just tell them to pop. And remember, because now that they're putting on a little bit of a box down there, if we go wide to someone, we have to take the cut down on ball side. We can't go wide as well. So if we pass to someone wide, we've got to take that cut.
I reckon we can also try a few fade fives. Yeah. Just to change it up, they're waiting for my ball all the time.
Plenty of discussion for the Purple Birdies at the moment. Such a calm style from Megan Anderson. Nothing ruffles her when it comes to discussion. Kylie Byrne, on the other hand, is definitely up and about, encouraging her charges.
Well,
and they're going to need it too at the moment.
Yeah, they do well. And she knows that this is when the Lightning need to stay in the match. We saw against the Fever last week, they relied or had to rely upon the super shot to get them back in the game. They're without Stephanie Wood, their super shot specialist. So they really can't let themselves or afford to be in a position where they let the Firebirds get too far out on them. We see a change. Kate Walsh coming into that wing defence position. She's got great hands over the ball, so Kylie Byrne, you would have to think, her thinking is just to get those hands up and just slow that ball down a little bit into the circle, or at least into Wallam and Buetta.
Well, always handy when you can bring a 100-plus gamer in Kate Walsh into a relatively inexperienced side who are down in a key part of this match. Every possession crucial now. Let's see whether they aim for a super shot. Conan's happy to take the one. Good timing from Bakewell-Doran. Doesn't make a difference.
On their centre pass for the Firebirds, they've just got two really strong options. Kim Revalian steps into that centre circle, and she can really choose whether she wants to go to Dunkley or Buetta.
Revaliant, we've got a new champion data stat as well this season, which is receives on the second phase from centre pass, and Kim Revaliant, she tops that stat. And that really opens up options between Dunkley, Buetta and herself. She links with speed into Dunkley, who had 28 feeds last week, or direct to circle with 24 feeds herself. Meanwhile, Buetta takes 20 centre pass receives as well. So there's just multiple options into the circle for the Firebirds. And the Vixens did a great job of shutting it down. Not quite the same for the Sunshine Coast at the moment.
Ebony Azuro Brown's really playing herself into this game. She was a little quiet in that first quarter, but she's getting a few nice touches.
I am enjoying how settled this is. No changes yet for the Firebirds too, so allowing the 7 out there to do the job, to work into it. It was a frantic first quarter. Megan Anderson could have pulled the trigger on one, decided not to. And we're seeing the benefits. Bakewell-Doran again, and look how hard done by she looks.
Bad luck, Ruby Bakewell-Doran. That was a beautiful little piece of work from her there, but credit to her, she gets the win back now. Again, karma playing out.
That's
Bill.
it. Rebellion nearly on it.
Have a look at this quick transition down the court for the Firebirds. It's just far too easy. There's absolutely no defensive pressure from the Lightning, making it really difficult for this last line of defence to do anything against two powerhouses like Buetta and Wallam.
All three of the Sunshine Coast defenders were in the centre third. That ball coming down far too quickly for them. Buetta just walking into space. And that's why things are looking a little easy. Wallam on the front, could have gone the super shot, hands off. No need to go for the super shot. We're over 10 goals now. 11 goals all of a sudden. What a second quarter for the Queensland Firebirds. Cassidy uses all of her 3 seconds. It slips through the fingers.
Well, Annie Miller with Miller's the ball in hand. She's come on in that wing attack position, so the Lightning are really clutching as Mahalia Cassidy gets called.
Pressing up in defence now, the Lightning.
Whether the ball's a little bit slippery, we just see a few little mishaps happening. Ball handling errors in this last couple of minutes.
1:08 on the clock. The Firebirds 11 to the good, make that 12. Looking in control of this one after a very close opening quarter. If you're just joining us, it was 18-17. And then a 19-9 quarter for the Firebirds. Stunned this USC crowd, although there are plenty of purple shirts down here. It's not too far from Brisbane as Wallam adds another one. And suddenly, we're a 13-goal game. Crucial possession as they all are. 35 seconds on the clock. At the transverse line, Cassidy. Bachelor looks. Bakewell-Doran again.
Bakewell-Doran is in absolutely everything. Lightning are looking scared when they've got the ball in hand, and then look down the other end for the Firebirds.
Oh, wow, Janelle Wallam, everything's coming off for the Queensland Firebirds.
Well, they're playing with such freedom and ease, just letting the ball go.
Oh, why not? Look at the score. They cracked the 40. Harvey Norman replay, and Dehaney, despite her best efforts, can't do the job. And then a little bit of basketball from Janelle Wallam, the 1-2, and it's Hinchliffe that gets a hands on one, but it comes off a Firebird.
Well,
5 seconds.
Rebellion nearly took Buetta's head off in that last pass.
Well, 21-9 in the second quarter, and it is all purple here at USC Stadium. The look on Kylie Byrne's face says it all. The Sunshine Coast Lightning only managed 9 goals in that quarter for a total of 26. 22 goals, in fact, it was to the Firebirds, who just flowed down court. And, well, third quarter is the demon for the Firebirds, but they've got a lovely buffer. Both coaches content to stick with their sevens. There hasn't been much change in general when you compare it especially to games over the last 3 or 4 games of Super Netball. There's been plenty of revolving door stuff, and there was plenty from Kylie Byrne last time out, but not so much this time as Walsh and Hinchliffe go the 1-2. Cassidy, Sherian, and lovely work high from Conan as we head down now, and thank you so much for the access, Kylie Byrne from the Sunshine Coast Lightning. What did you have to say to your Chargers after that second quarter performance?
Yeah, a fair bit, obviously. Look, we just, we weren't happy with that. The defensive pressure we were putting the whole way down the court, we were just too far away from our player, and we needed to stop their movement down the court.
Carls, Dehaney and Hinchliffe doing a reasonable job in the circle, but as you mentioned, that defensive pressure down court, that last line of defence is difficult for them. How do you slow that play down the court?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because that's what our whole week was about after Fever last week. So we've done a whole lot of, just what defence looks like when you're you know, when your hands over the ball, you're stepping up after release. So we need to be far better at that side, guys, because we can't just rely on, you know, the guys inside the circle. And I thought KD's done a great job and been quite unlucky with some calls out there.
Obviously a very difficult 24 hours. We'll let you go after this one, but want to get your thoughts quickly on the loss of Steph and how the team has rallied after that one, because obviously a devastating blow, but that's the reality of 2022, isn't it?
Yeah, it is absolutely. And, you know, she was devastated, but, you know, it was a great opportunity then for Rue to start a game, and also for, you know, the likes of Cara and Chezzy just to stand up here without that real playmaker in our team, and that's what I'm expecting from this quarter.
Kylie Byrne, thank you so much for your time here on Fox Netball.
Thanks, guys.
And that's exactly right, Will, that leadership. That's what happens when your captain sits out. You look to your Laura Sherry, and she's an experienced player. Ebony Azuro-Brown just coming up with that rebound. It demands those players to step up. And as you say, COVID is playing all kinds of funny games this season so far. So there needs to be depth in leadership. You can't just be relying on that captain and vice captain all the time.
I feel like after COVID ends, there's not going to be another debutant in Super Netball for 5 years, because they will have flooded absolutely everybody. Well, of course, we know that tomorrow Chelsea Pittman's going to be playing for the Giants. So Chelsea, what a crazy story. And we're going to see more of this. Yeah. I feel like Chelsea Pittman could end up playing for all the teams by the end of the season, because obviously you can tap on other teams' training partners, and Chelsea Pittman is such an experienced name. And
what a story. Chelsea Pittman at the Adelaide Thunderbirds didn't gain a contract at the end of her season there. Still knew that she wanted to play netball. Dan Ryan threw her a lifeline. She moved over to WA. She's a training partner over there with the Fever. Now she's given the opportunity with the Giants tomorrow. I have no doubt that she will be out on court tomorrow. And as you say, I reckon we'll be seeing her in a Firebirds uniform. We've seen her before in a Firebirds uniform. I reckon she might like to come back up to Queensland and give it another run.
I feel like in 20 years' time, someone's going to look up Chelsea Pittman's Wikipedia page and see that she played for 19 different teams and go, what happened? Yeah, what happened that year? Anyway, we get back into the action, and it remains 13 goals for the good for the Firebirds. And can the Lightning find any way back from this one? Wallam, well, she is sitting at, wow, again, Dehaney.
Amazing work. That's her second little tap down for this game. One against Gretel Buetta and that one against Wallam.
I know you alluded to how difficult that is, but obviously as a GK yourself, tell me, indeed, why is it so hard to get that right?
Well, let's have a look here. You can see there, her timing is just perfection. Something that somebody once told me was to watch the elbow of the shooter, and the minute the elbow movement starts coming up is when the defender has to jump. I don't know how true that is, because I don't think I ever had a rejection to my name.
You're just walking around staring at people's elbows all day.
Exactly, but Dehaney is proving that she is the absolute magician at the deflection.
Don't tell her about the elbow thing, because we want to keep doing what she's doing. Rebellion goes back. Bakewell Doran, short passes.
Have a look at that hold from Wallam, and that's where Dehaney just needs to come off the body a little bit, not get stuck on Wallam. What she was doing really well in that first quarter and second quarter was just the movement. As you can see her here, she's off the body a little bit. In that 2-on-1 situation, we see Shimon back in the circle now. We should mention that. She started the third quarter out there. And I actually like that move from Byrne, because there's so much height in there. They read the play quite nicely. Maddie Hinchliffe still out on the wing defence position.
Dunkley, Tippett off, well, I say Tippett, sorry. Buetta off that split that she does so well. Now we're at 14 goals. Every possession crucial, and the Firebirds just keep doing the job, keep feeding the circle, and Gabby Simpson comes up with one, and as they stream on down the court, we'll go to Sharon Finn-White, and tell us, how have you been seeing the feed into the circle from the Firebirds?
Yeah, I've just the last couple of times the ball's gone in, just Katie Dehaney seems to be getting her hand to the ball over the back of Wallam. So I'd just love to see the feeders just place that ball a little bit more in front of Wallam, so Katie Dehaney doesn't have that opportunity to get any of her hands to the ball.
Such a strong target to Nell Wallam. It just speaks volumes for the wingspan and the effort of Katie. And Dehaney, as up goes Tippett.
Oh, Cassidy's just looking at the umpire going, what just happened? The athleticism from Buetta. She just pushes her way through there. How she got away with no call from the umpire, I don't know. But she is just such an athlete. We see her here take that centre pass. My goodness. Oh, Ebony Azuro-Brown having a little sniff outside.
Tell you what, if you're watching this at home and you've never been to a Suncorp Super Netball game, you have to come and experience the agility, the power and strength of these women in person. It is something to behold, I can tell you that. Cassidy circle edge. Bacheldor from distance.
Well, it has to be the first comment anyone ever says once they've seen a live game of netball is, I can't believe how fast it is, how quick these girls are. Even the pause, while I'm just loose hands over the baseline, the poor guys that are doing the stats, when I say poor guys, they say, this is the fastest game they ever have to code out of all sport. There is so much happening, whether it's contacts. The pace that these ladies move with is just so impressive.
Yeah, you can tell the stats guy just got to find the guy that is sweating on the sidelines of a Suncorp Super Netball game, trying to keep the stats updated because it unfolds in the blink of an eye. And it certainly happened to the Sunshine Coast Lightning in the last quarter, and they're level pegging to an extent in this one, 6-5 at the moment for this one, but the damage was already done, and they need to find a way to turn extra possessions into goals. And again, from the same position, Bacheldor looks comfortable, dribbles it in. Her 15th goal of the evening.
Well, the umpire just having words there with Maddie Hinchcliffe in that wing defence position, just saying tidy up a little bit.
Hinchcliffe around the back of Rebellion just knocks it into the hands of Dunkley.
It didn't really sink in, did it?
Sort of what's happening here. Anyway, doing the job, and then Buetta comes up with it. Off Dunkley, and again.
Well, there's a few bodies flying out here in this third quarter.
Dunkley, 31 feeds, leads all comers. Rebellion next on 20, so the teammates finding ways into the circle with regularity.
Well, the Lightning are just, every pass looks laboured at the moment. There's no flow. Bacheldor turns, but finishes the job nicely for them.
They actually pegged back 2 from the gap. It's 12 now as another HCF timeout with 6:50 to go in the third quarter. And the Lightning had the best of that one, but they're going to need to evaporate that deficit much, much quicker as the Firebirds still in control. Very, very quiet here. It's almost pin drop stuff at USC Stadium.
We're hitting a long lead.
Let's have a listen into Kylie Byrne.
Then we've got to bust through. I reckon we've got to get you in the goal third and on to circle edge. We cannot be hanging off, okay? If we're in a line, which is happening, which is fine, and we're getting out of it, but someone's got to bust through. Make sure we're ball side down this end and through court attack so that we've got a safe option, but take the line off them in attack and defence. Okay? Just got to go up strong. She's pulling you down on one side, but just go with 2 hands, even, because I think we'll get the whistle down this one. Hey, when you're out here and you jump to these guys, instead of heading for a sideline, go and get it back off them, get it back off them, get it back off them, and then check the circle. Good girl. Let's go! Come on, take us out.
Let's go! Let's go, girls! Let's go!
Kylie Byrne with plenty to say to her younger players especially as they stare at a second straight defeat here potentially at home, and it just does not get easier. There is no easy games in Suncorp Super Netball. They come up against a team that was defeated last weekend and they look outplayed for large periods of this one. It could be a long season for a team that does not make the finals.
Well, they don't know what it's like not to make the finals, Will.
Good touch from Bakewell Doran, doesn't quite time it.
But you're right. It seems as though they're starting this season with a bit of a lag. And there's just really no time at all for any team just to work their way into it. You need to hit the ground running in round 1.
The freedom of the throw there from Boetta to hit that target, just knowing where Wallam is. They have only played together for a match and a half. Let's go down to Sharon. How are you seeing that this third quarter? It's certainly levelled up somewhat.
Yeah, that's right, Will. I was just having a listen to Lightning coach Kylie Byrne. She was talking to Mahalia Cassidy. She was just wanting her to hit that circle edge a little bit more. She felt like she was hanging off a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's interesting. She also spent some time with Cara Conan saying you need to be strong under that post. We just saw Ebony Azuro-Brown give Conan a little shove, and Kylie Byrne said to her, just hold your position, go up, rip that ball in with two hands. But that is exactly why Azuro-Brown is in this Firebirds defensive end, because that's the presence that she brings. So we see Hinchliffe there just doing everything to keep the ball in.
See the hustle there from Azuro-Brown taking the front position, but in the end, it travels down the baseline to Conan, and we're at now super shot time, or we're coming up to it. It's a 10-7 quarter. The Lightning have had a better run of it. If they can nail a couple of super shots, they'll take all the momentum into this one as the post helps out the Firebirds. Well, that post will be fired after this game.
And
find a new one.
That is exactly what happens. When things are going your way, they go your way, don't they?
Happened to the Vixens last week against the Firebirds, so swings and roundabouts, I suppose. Now, will they look for super shots? Battledore has shot well from distance.
They have to, Will. They don't have any choice but to.
Oh.
And unfortunately, that's what happens. It rings out. And all of a sudden, the ball is back down that attacking end for the Firebirds.
It hurts, doesn't it? It hurts when you know that Boetta to Wallam just works so well. And the pressure ratchets up another level. The possession to the Firebirds. We're back at 13 goals now. Dunkley high. Boetta circle edge takes the step, so confident with the feed.
Well, Boetta's just look at that
Super
play there from
time
Wallam. That's amazing. She started with the ball in non-super shot zone and worked her way out to get that pass so she could have a crack at the two-pointer. So that says that this Firebirds attack end is so confident.
Blue and yellow hearts are breaking here in USC. As Rebellion never wastes any time off the centre pass. 14 goals, Boetta.
Have a look at this second phase depth that the Firebirds are getting. These last two centre passes down this.
Oh, again, Janelle Wallam. You don't need to do it, but you're still doing it.
Incredible.
Wow. 16 goals now, and you don't normally see the team leading, taking the option there, but playing with freedom, playing with confidence. The attack end of this Firebirds team, great to watch.
4 from 4 when it comes to super shots for Danelle Wallam as Ruby Bakewell-Doran doing her job 100%.
All right, Wallam, stand in the white, get ready, here it comes. She's on fire from distance.
Look at her, she's actually demanding the ball in that super shot zone.
She's making sure one foot's in there. She's going to take the split backwards instead of closer to the post. Now is it Boetta's time to shine? Flat, decides to hand off. Well, that was just a regular goal.
Yeah, that was boring, wasn't it?
55-38. Now, the Firebirds, they were down 3 in this one. They're up now in this quarter by 2, and they're about to be up by 3. And their third quarter woes from last week have been well and truly expelled. Sherian.
Well, Bacheldor's home alone there. The Lightning not even looking in, though.
Bakewell-Doran on the high jump.
Those super shots just not sinking for the Sunshine Coast Lightning.
We've seen it time and time again already that the team behind doesn't seem to be able to sink the super shots in the same way. The pressure's on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw it last week for the Lightning against Fever. Leaving the run too late, and then all of a sudden you put all this pressure on. I spoke about it earlier. They don't obviously have Stephanie Wood in the lineup today. She's dangerous when it comes to the super shot. So you're essentially asking two players that aren't naturally comfortable doing it to do it.
So the Lightning, well, their struggles are illustrated no better anywhere than in Nissan net points. They're currently sitting on 191. They're 138, or maybe 131 at the break. The Firebirds 458. In fact, the top 5 Nissan net points getters from this match are all Firebirds. Dunkley on 94, Rebellion 73, Bakewell Doran 67.5, Boeta and Asuro Brown both on 66.
And that's exactly what today's outing from the Firebirds has been, is a real team effort. You've got players stepping up in all areas of the court, doing their job.
Is this an improved performance from the Firebirds, or did they put out a similar performance against the Vixens, but the Vixens are just so special as a team at the moment?
This is definitely an improved performance from the Queensland Firebirds. They look like a different outfit.
Yep. They've been given the space to play with a freedom, though, that gives them the confidence to make them look good.
Yep.
Whereas, you know, the defensive end of the Vixens are so good at smothering the ball and making, you know, forcing the Firebirds into short passes. We talked about that. You know, they had more possession than the Vixens because it took them so long to get down court. But here they're playing a Vixens game to the other team. You know, they're flowing down court so well. Boeta's up and about. Well, and when she is, there's just so much flow to this game.
And they look like they're just enjoying their netball, which is when we know the Firebirds are dangerous.
Here we go again. No, doesn't beat the buzzer. But it's a 20-goal deficit.
Oh, here she gets another crack.
In fact, it could be 22.
Kate Shimon will be using every inch of those arms, but
it rings out. It doesn't matter in the end. 20 goals the difference, 19-13, a huge run at the back end of that quarter. And a couple of changes out there on court. Gemma Maimai is on at wing attack for the Firebirds. We haven't seen, and Kim Jenner's back on, well, not back on, she hasn't been on yet at goal defence. Emily Asuro Brown stays at goalkeeper for the Firebirds. And, well, what can the Sunshine Coast Lightning salvage from this game now? They've gone 20 goals down, and they need to have a good finishing quarter.
Yeah, they do, and it's obviously the odds are against them. We see some really big changes out on court for both of these sides. You mentioned down in this forward line, Mai coming on. We see Lara Dunkley moving into centre and Kim Revalian on the wing defence position. We haven't seen her there much in Suncorp Super Netball, but that's where she played most of her junior netball. She's an absolute star there, so Gabby Simpson to the bench. Down here we see Tara Hinchcliffe back into keeper, Dehaney to the bench, and Maddie in goal defence. So you're going to see, she's still on the wing defence, and Kate Walsh back. But that was a long-winded answer to the question, wasn't it?
Anyway, that's all we have time for here at Fox Netball. All right, Dunkley into Walt. Let's just get on with it, shall we?
What the Lightning need to do in this last 15, Will, is just to basically play this 15 with pride and to win a quarter off the Firebirds. They haven't done so yet in this entire game, so they just need to focus on keeping possession, winning or scoring successfully of all their centre passes.
That is instruction wing.
Firebirds, meanwhile, you know, they've basically had a 20-goal quarter each quarter. They do that again. They come away with, say, 80-odd goals, and that is a huge day at the office for the Firebirds, and particularly for Danelle Wallam. You know, I have seen people even talking about Danelle Wallam, Diamonds Bolter. You know, we've played 2 games.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean,
let's not rule it out, because you know she's a form shooter.
Well, in the last 2 rounds she has. There's still a long season to go, Will, but I mean, the way that she is playing, she looks like she's been at home in the SSN and playing for so many seasons.
Yeah.
And I think what you mentioned earlier, the fact that she's playing alongside Gretel Boeta makes her feel at home. They just both look like they're enjoying their netball. And said it before, that's when Gretel Boeta, speaking of, the lady of the moment, plays her best.
Well, we saw that coming for a few seconds. And Boeta, just great positioning, and is going to finish it. Is she? No. Yes, she is.
Step forward, keeper. Instruction.
Here is the Harvey Norman replay, and Boeta had the eyes up, saw it coming.
Well, we saw her do that exact thing in the last quarter against the Vixens. She took that screaming intercept.
Amazing intercept, wasn't it?
And then finished off with a shot. The amount of work that she does in defence is also just sensational.
Wallam just not even bothering to plant the feet now, taking the step in, off the one leg. Sherian cuts through the big bump from Jenna. Well, at least we can scrap the Star of the Future tag for Donnell Wallam and just go with Star. 3 minutes gone in the final quarter. Still 20 goals, the difference. Buetta, my getting court time, which is good to see. And off the big split, a nice finish again from the Diamonds' goal attack.
The Lightning just struggling as Jenna comes out for a fly. Laura Sherian just was the last hand to hit that ball, so it's a Firebirds throw-in.
Yeah, just unsighted there, Sherian, with Jenna flying through and down the court once again. Come the Firebirds.
Well, it's like watching what Fever did against Lightning on repeat last week, isn't it? That long court transition is just so fast. You've only
I
got
guess
to
when
look
you play the Fever, you kind of go, okay, but they're playing the Fever and they're playing Janelle, so let's see what they do against a team that doesn't have Janelle Fowler, basically, is what I'm saying. And they've come up against Donnell Wallam and some amazing feeders who have done an incredible job as Lara Dunkley cracks over the 100 Nissan net points mark. Well, we don't see that too often during a season.
Exactly. You've only got to look over to the Lightning bench and just see the look on Vicky Wilson's face and Coach Kylie Byrne. See a stepping error, just coach killers. They're just looking at their team thinking, what on earth can we do here as Cara Conan
ends up on the stats bench. Suro Brown now to Jenna.
Oh, take
off
Gemma
the
Maimai.
step, but can't find the pass.
Yeah, great work there, Tara Hinchliff. Just tapped that ball out and followed up. Nice little passage of play from the Lightning. Deserves to be finished off.
Yes, goal attack.
I think we've seen more of what Ebony Azuro Brown is capable of in this game as she eases her way into top flight netball here in Australia.
She's had a huge impact today, that's for sure. And combined so beautifully with Ruby Bakewell-Doran. Oh, Tippett!
Oh, beautiful agility from Buetta. We're both doing the Tippett thing. We're going to stop doing that. Not to point out your error, but...
I'm having some real trouble with Gretel Buetta / Tippett today, aren't I?
Cassidy and Jenna.
She was in her
clash.
Space. Yes.
Cassidy just a little bit slow to her feet. She's an absolute workhorse, Cassidy. She will run and run and run all day.
22 goals. It stands now with just under 10 to go, and they're going to wipe the court. So a slight delay.
So we wait there. Lara Dunkley lining up for that centre pass. Apparently there was a little April Fool's joke played on her earlier this week where the Queensland staff called her and said that the Fox Kayo sports team wanted to do a documentary on her and her family. We know her two brothers are obviously AFL sensations. She rang home, spoke to her parents to organise all that needs to be organised to only find out that it was an April Fool's joke.
That's a harsh one. That is disappointing.
Lucky
that's
she's a good sport.
Wow. That's gutsy from the Fox team. Well, they've been here for a couple of rounds.
To be fair, though, she is the official prankster of the Firebirds, so I feel as though...
Swings and roundabouts. What goes around comes around. 23 goals now to the good are the Queensland Firebirds. We'll have Megan Anderson on the panel after the show, so stick around for that in the post-show, because it'll be lovely to hear.
Donnell Wallam, in that little passage of play, has just been sent to the bench. Mia Stower on the court in the goal shooter position and delivers that ball beautifully to Buetta.
Yeah, great off the intercept as well. Now 24 goals, and Stower could do with a few settlers after it was difficult to be thrown into that cauldron, I guess, against the Vixens late, as the HCF timeout happens once again. And don't forget, there's plenty of super shots, and for every successful Suncorp super shot today, Suncorp will donate $100 to the Confident Girls Foundation to help the foundation continue keeping girls in the game. That's what it's all about. They do plenty of programs, including the community response grants, to help clubs who've been affected by the floods here in Queensland and in New South Wales. So if you want more information on that, head to cgf.raisley.com. We'll listen in now to Kylie Byrne.
So go and keep them high out here. Still, let's make sure we're not parallel, we're to a side and we're doing the work. We've got to slow it down out the front up here. Okay, in attack, don't go and sag straight back to the circle. Position yourself at the top of the circle and connect with these guys. We're going wide and out. And bringing the ball down the court, we've got to get middle channel. We talked about it at half time. We're just running to the outside and trying to hope for over the top. Yeah. That last one, when you hit it with pace, is what we need. Yeah. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
8:49 on the clock, 24 goals to the good, and the Firebirds continue on their merry way. Bueta, bullet pass in to Mai, and then gets on the back of that passage of play. High fives all round, and it just seems a little too easy.
Yeah, it's all just too easy at the moment for the Queensland Firebirds. And it's quite the opposite for the Lightning.
It would have been a happy huddle at the Firebirds, and Sharon Finnan-White was there to hear all about it. Sharon?
Yeah, I was just listening to Coach Megan Anderson. She was having a word to Gemma Mai, and she's asking her to put some fakes in just to draw the defenders off the shooters. Kim Jenner, Claire Ferguson was having a chat to her about doing the work out front, meaning really block that drive of the goal attack of Riley Batchelor driving into the circle.
Riley Batchelor's had a good game today. We saw it against Fever. Be a little bit disappointing, I suppose you could say, because in glimpses of that Team Girls Cup, we saw what she's capable of. She's an outstanding young talent.
Well, she's only 19,
she's
you know,
only
and it's going to take a few games. And
absolutely will. She's got such a bright future ahead of her. And what an opportunity for her to be up here playing alongside the likes of Conan and Wood, learning the tricks of the trade of two of the best.
Yeah, she's definitely been involved. 30-odd shots, 4 assists, 13 centre pass receives, a handful of feeds as well. She certainly made her presence felt. There she is with the ball in hand right now. Cassidy, been one of the best out there as well for the Lightning, 56.5 missing net points. They've actually almost gone backwards with this in net points since the third quarter, whereas the Firebirds have gone to 540. Wow.
Incredible.
Yep, definitely elevating their game week on week, the Firebirds. 71 goals now they've put in, and no doubt we'll see a few super shots in the last 5 minutes of this one, so don't miss that. Stow up.
Gretel Bueta alone is sitting on 104.5 missing net points. Lara Dunkley, 109. Nearly have to be getting up to record territory.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It can't be often that 2 players on a team rack up 100 missing net points, but such has been the dominance of this team. And I guess the Sunshine Coast have flown a little bit under the radar in terms of what their season prospects look like, because we're so used to them being successful that you don't think, okay, so they've got 5 changes. They've lost their entire defensive end. They've got, you know, obviously Steph Wood, what happened to her, and you know, when you add those up, of course these situations are going to occur. It's how they respond to it, which is interesting, and you know, every week they come up against a strong team.
Exactly, and you know, Maddie McAuliffe is a name that we spoke a lot about, obviously, when we saw the Lightning step out, but she's not here anymore either, and for me, she was a big voice in this Lightning lineup. Obviously, Carla Pretorius is out this season, sitting out. She's expecting her first baby, which is wonderful news for Carla. She's the captain of the club, but you would always see the voice, not necessarily coming from Carla, but more Maddie. Now, those 2 players taken out of this lineup, it actually leaves such a massive void for this team to pick up. So the leadership is obviously new to Steph Wood, Laura Sherian, their experience, but in terms of that leadership role, they're not that experienced. So it's a big change for the Lightning. See,
it is. I mean, it's just doesn't get easier though, does it, in this competition? And so quickly you can go 4 games down and it's impossible to get back from there.
Well, Annie Laurie, we spoke a little bit about her. Oh, bad luck, Tara Hinchliffe.
Starway, important shot for her, confidence-wise. She nails it, and there's the 5 minutes to go mark.
Annie Laurie gets her opportunity down here.
A touch from Rebellion.
Yeah, Laura Sherian just looks back to the teammates and says, for goodness sake, give the ball some air, put it up. These Firebirds defenders are just getting hands to everything.
I think she thought, for goodness sake, or did she just pick some other words as Rebellion gets a hand on one. And here is Laurie from way downtown.
Throwing Firebirds on the sides. Yes.
I like that she just turned and shot there.
Well, she doesn't really have much choice but to, Will, does she?
That's right. That's right. 76 plays 49, and down the court, just with such beautiful flow, comes the Firebirds with Boetta at the pointy end. At now 114 Nissa net points. She shot 22 of 23, 10 assists, 26 centre pass receives, 2 intercepts, 5 deflections, and 14 feeds.
It's just outstanding. She was good last week, but she is absolutely phenomenal here today.
Well, another HCF tactical timeout. 3:51 to go in this one. And it's a nearly 30-goal deficit. And we talked about the Firebirds having to come back and really put the foot down at halftime, and they have done exactly that.
Leading into next week, they take on West Coast Fever.
Ooh, what a game.
Home arena, and what a game it will be.
What do you talk about when you're that far up? When you're 30 goals to good, what do you talk about finishing the game off strong?
We just need to keep pushing. That's what Megan Anderson will be asking. She's got all of her players out on court today, so she would have to be so happy with that. You just see the look on the Firebirds' faces. They're relaxed, they're happy, but they're sticking to their processes. Gabby Simpson on screen there. She had a great 3 quarters against Laura Sherian. We spoke a little bit about, obviously, that leadership not being a priority for her anymore, and she just looks like she's playing with so much more freedom out there on court. And that's when she is dangerous.
Simpson and Sherian, 2 of the big names in Australian netball. And the fans, well, they're still jumping around out there in the stands. They're not minding this one. They're still enjoying their netball. It feels like a long time since netball has been back here at USC Stadium.
Well, Annie Miller,
we wanted. Yep.
You know, she's come up from the Giants, I should say, as a training partner down there. She's been given the opportunity as Bachelor lines it up. What a beautiful shot. Should have to have one of the prettier shooting actions. It just looks so easy, doesn't it? Oh, Dehaney.
Well, Katie and Dehaney's back in the match, ladies and gentlemen. Jim and my will know it. And here goes Boetta on the super shot. Can't make it stick. The rebound to Dehaney, and Boetta doesn't like it, so she knocks it out of play. So agile across the court, nearly again.
Gabby Simpson, another little win to her name.
Yeah. Just brings so much energy to the court, Gabby Simpson. As I said, 5 years captain. Steps down for Kim Rebellion and Lara Dunkley to take over captain and vice-captaincy roles. Rebellion, just the kind of captain that just leads through her own personal work rate. And by example at all times, will not take a foot off the pedal at any time, no matter what the score is.
And she demands excellence from herself, but also from her teammates. She leads by example, as you say, but she just sets everything up. Players know where they stand with her. She's honest. And that's exactly what this leadership from the Firebirds, or what the Firebirds need from their leaders this year. Mix that with Lara Dunkley, who has all the energy, as we just see another beautiful super shot there. Lara Dunkley in that vice-captaincy role, well, she brings the energy and the vibe.
80 goals for the Queensland Firebirds. 21 in this quarter. Their lowest scoring quarter, 18 in the opener. And that's when the Lightning were really bringing it. As another shot from Laurie. She's got a really high arc on that shot. The 20-year-old who came in for Steph Wood at short notice. Been a training partner since 2020. He's known to be able to shoot from range. Here is Bachelor, who also has a high arc and a beautiful shot again. She is a star of the future.
Riley Bachelor, 3 from 7 super shots, sitting at 43%. Oh, Tara Hinchliffe saw that one, just couldn't get her feet there quick enough.
Stole her off the super shot. Oh, that's just rude. I want to say it's a super shot shootout, but I was too scared for a couple of minutes. I've done it now. I've got it out. You know what was going to come out of my mouth. Nice back and forth. Laurie gets a chance to score. I remember seeing her first ever goal in Super Netball, and she was being marked by Liv Lewis of the Fever last year, and she shot from distance and just swished it, and it was lovely to see that on debut as Stower leaves one short.
Gretel Buetta, though. Umpire's got different ideas.
30 seconds to go in this. A real statement from the Queensland Firebirds that sets up an absolute blockbuster next week against the Fever. Now, the Lightning have gone down to the Firebirds by more than they did to the Fever, and that just shows the quality of what this Firebirds outfit can bring under the correct conditions and with all the confidence that they bring to this Battle of the Bruce. Bachelor again from distance, again on the high arc, too big. Osoro Brown comes up with it.
Osoro Brown, she's pumped, isn't she?
That's it. It's all over. The Firebirds. Wow, what a statement. 82 goals they put on the Lightning at home. And the fans here at USC have seen a masterclass